Friends, I hope you all are doing good. Welcome to the class. Again, a very good morning. We are talking about 22nd June 2021 current affairs. Today we are going to talk about current affairs capsule. We'll try to cover 22nd June 2021 current affairs in a very short and easy manner. So let's quickly start. A few small topics. India has abstained from United Nations General Assembly Myanmar resolution. So India has abstained by stating that the resolution is not in conducive to the aiding India's joint efforts towards strengthening relationship with Myanmar. Okay, this was adopted by United Nations General Assembly, and because of the coup that happened in Myanmar, with the infighting that is happening between the military and the democratically elected government. So India abstained from that. Why it is important? Established in 1945, United Nations General Assembly act as a chief deliberative and policy making representative of United Nations. It's the only UN forum where all the members receive equal representation. Very, very important. Tomorrow, UPSC asked you a question. Which of the following statements are true? UNGA is the only UN forum where all the members receive equal representation. Your answer will be true. Exactly. I know, you are very intelligent, but we need to become more rational. Topic 2, very small one before we move to the Hindu paper. Summer solstice, we all know about it. It occurs when the sun is directly over the Tropic of Cancer between June 20 to 22, and it's called as the longest day of year in Northern Hemisphere. During the solstice, the Earth axis is tilted in a way that a North Pole is tipped towards the sun. This way, you see. This way, you see this. And the South Pole is away from it. So that's why it is there in the news. Why? Because of June 2021. We need to always remember this equinox and all these details. NISHTA, National Initiative for School Heads and Teacher Holistic Advancement Program. I repeat, NISHTA, National Initiative for School Heads and Teacher Holistic Program. Ministry of Tribal Affairs and NCERT have come together to start this joint mission for NISHTA program. Who? Ministry of Tribal Affairs and NCERT. They have come together for Ekalavya model of residential school. Ekalavya, that is EMRS, was started as an idea to provide quality education in tribal areas. That's why the name Ekalavya. So they now come together to implement NISHTA in the Ekalavya schools. Another topic, Indian Navy and European Union Naval Force, that is EUNAVFOR, that is in EUNAVFOR, they will participate in a maiden joint national naval exercise in Gulf of Aden. Gulf of Aden is also known as Gulf of Berbera, is a deep water gulf between Yemen to the north, Arabian Sea to the east. Yemen to the north, very, very important. Yemen to the north, very, very important. Arabian to the east, Djibouti to the west, and Somalia to the south. They are having a regular interaction through a program called Shade Awareness and Deconfliction. So that's why important for your examination. Small topic, but very important from the examiner point of view. Supreme Court has asked government decision on ex gratia payment. That is, Supreme Court has asked the government, are you going to pay compensation to the people who have died because of COVID-19? So the Supreme Court asked, are you taking a decision or you are not going to take any decision about it? They even asked, by maintaining that COVID-19 was not a one-time disaster, you are trying to make sure that the Disaster Management Act would not apply to this particular pandemic. This is how the Supreme Court have asked. Now, the question from bench were very clear. Under Disaster Management Act, Section 12, So, under disaster management section 12, the government is supposed to pay compensation to people who died of any disaster. But now the questions have been raised, can government actually do about it? What can government do about it, or are they going to pay about this particular compensation? Government could not reply that they don't have money. So what they said was, we are looking for a better solution. Rather than paying them the compensation, we'll try to utilize this amount for improvement of food, medical care, oxygen, vaccination, and pumping of economy, rather than a one-time compensation. So obviously, that's what the government reply is there in Supreme Court. The petitioner has highlighted one more thing. There is a 2015 notification which requires the government to pay an ex gratia of 4 lakh to each victim. So the petitioner said, how can you deny paying them the amount when there is an already government, section which says that you have to pay them the money? Government very honestly replied that they are basically making section 12 that it is recommendatory in nature, that it is more like a recommendation. So there is no note to compulsory follow about that particular notification. Then there is also a recommendation from Finance Commission which says that only 15,000 crore to be spent on disaster management. The government is taking that as a justification. They are like, Finance Commission has said that only 15 crore is required. Supreme Court said this is wrong. You cannot override a section of an act from a Finance Commission advisory nature. So that's the reason the whole issue is going on. The government will still fight for the case. Why government is worried? Very, very simple. If they start paying 4 lakh to each of the families of died of COVID-19, lakhs of people have died. So that's why government is worried about the funds. So they're trying to fight in the Supreme Court. They want to make section 12 only recommendatory in nature, and that's why they do not want to pay compensation and utilize that fund for better purposes. Moving on to the next topic of the day. National Green Tribunal have modified its order with respect to Najafgarh Lake. Paper 3 topic, but also important for prelims. The National Green Tribunal on Monday has modified an earlier order about Najafgarh Lake and have raised the need for a field survey to assess the water quality. What has happened? This is actually a proper lake, but the people living around it have left their drain pipes into this particular lake and are now fighting that this lake was not formed naturally. It's a drainage. It is not a drainage. It is actually a natural lake, right? So that's why it is very, very important. So the Supreme Court has also directed the Chief Secretary of Delhi and Haryana to coordinate with the department concerned and present them a report. Should we stop there? No. We should open up the UPSC box. What is NGT? It is a specialized body set up under National Green Tribunal Act 2010. India became the third country in the world to set up a specialized court for environmental laws and environmental tribunal, only after Australia and New Zealand. So tomorrow UPSC gives you a prelims question, which of the following statements are true? India is the only country to set up a specialized environmental tribunal. True or false? False. You also have Australia as well as New Zealand. The tribunal comprises of a chairperson, a judicial member and expert members, and they hold office for up to 5 years and they are not eligible for reappointment. The chairperson is appointed by central government, is in consultation with the Chief Justice of India. Very, very important. NGT, how the members are appointed and why it was set up. Now, another topic, pretty simple. BT cotton adoption showed the benefits, have been spoken about the study. So there was a study conducted about the long-term impact of BT cotton, and empirical evidence from North India. So now the study was sponsored by Agriculture Extension Division of Indian Council of Agriculture Research, right? So that's why we need to study about this topic. Obviously topic will go to paper 3, but very, very important from prelims point of view. Now, BT cotton adoption in Punjab has resulted in net economic environmental benefit. That was a study talks about that BT cotton has been beneficial. Long-term impact of BT cotton, that an empirical evidence from North India has said that it's adopted in Punjab. Now, another important thing to observe is that since the commercialization of BT cotton, the study says that there has been a reduction in insecticide used by volume as well as in application. That means people have used less amount of insecticide. That indirectly will lead to decline in environmental and human health impact associated with insecticide. More so, with the reduction in the use of highly hazardous and riskiest insecticide, there has also been reduction in the expenses. So tomorrow, if they give you a question, like how is the biotechnology crop or transgenic crop helpful for us, you should be able to understand and answer from the point of view that BT cotton or biotechnology or transgenic crops, they're not just about the quantity, they're about the quality. They have a long-term impact, right, which could be on the health, but there are also good advantages of it. So we are looking at the good advantages of it, right? You see insecticide have been reduced. So that means health impact has also been declined. So that's what the study talks about it. Also, the cotton yields in past 13 years have been completely stable. The only exception being to reduce has been only 2 out of that 13 years. There has only been problem within about the 2 years. Pesticides use have gradually increased in the BT hybrid and have been reduced in the non-BT varieties. Now there is also some concern that we need to talk about. What is the concern? Commercially grown BT cotton has helpful, no doubt. Genetically Engineering Appraisal Committee gave the approval, no doubt. But we need to also understand that because of the decline in the insecticides and the use of BT cotton, there has been increase of control the sucking pest. There has been an increase in the another insecticide. The normal insecticide they are not using, but now there are other pests, right? So now to use that, we are to basically kill that pest, we are using more of insecticide. Moreover, there has also been increase in the pesticide and fungicides. And these pesticide and fungicide were not applied to the cotton before. We are applying it only to the BT cotton, and it is needed to apply to the BT cotton, and that is the problem. Next topic. Government moots proposal to ban flash sale on e-commerce sites. To monitor deep discount and offer an e-commerce websites, you see these e-commerce websites, Amazon, Flipkart, they offer very deep discounts. So the government has changed the Consumer Protection e-commerce rule 2020, banning all kind of flash sales. The ministry clarified that the conventional flash sale has not been banned. Only predatory flash sale, that means where you are purposely reducing the price, so that the competition should not survive. They do it, right? Flipkart, Amazon, they try to reduce the price so that they do not want any other competition to survive. And that kind of flash sale government has completely banned. A lot of complaints have been received by Ministry of Consumer Affairs about the cheating and unfair trade practices. That's why they have modified Consumer Protection Bill rules 2022, and I have completely banned such kind of flash sales. And they have directed all the e-commerce website to appoint a chief compliance officer, a nodal person to basically available for 24/7 for compliance and regulatory issues with the government. And they also want the e-commerce website to appoint a resident grievance officer. Clear? Simple. The government has modified the rules to ban flash sales which are predatory in nature. GS3 economic topic. You would require economic classes to understand, but we will try to understand little bit of it. Rate cut. Liquidity is aiding the trading profits in the bond portfolio. So let's see what is a bond. In an example, for a layman language, it's a sheet of paper on the basis of which I borrow. For an example, I take money from you and I give you a sheet of paper, and you will tell after 5 years, I will be giving you 10% rate of interest after 5 years. And after 5 years, I will return the bond. You will take the money back and I will take my bond back. So now a new report has said that the onset of the COVID-19 has resulted in gainful for public sector banks. Why? Because they are doing profit in trading the bond. So people take this bond and they trade. So bank, they buy this bond. Why? It helps them to borrow money from RBI, and they also do trading of these bonds. There are treasury bonds which are released by the governments, and there are other bonds which are released by the private people like Reliance or Adani or anyone. So the report says that they are making money out of these bonds. Why? Because of the high liquidity in the market, people are, although they may not be earning more, but they have to spend more. Maybe health, that, this and all. People are also borrowing more loans. Why? Job is not helping them, economic collapse or other issues. So that's why it is helping the bond to make profits. That's all the report about. Why I am not going detail, because to understand bonds, you would have to attain the economic class. Now, a very important editorial for paper 2, polity, federal structure. So let's try to understand. Why do we require more federal structure? Simple. If the state directly collect more tax, they will become less dependent upon the center. Here we are not talking about dividing the India or anything. The idea is very simple. The state should become independent because they know their problem better. They can help their state citizens in a much better manner, and they should be given more authority and the powers to collect the taxes. Now let's try about the whole topic. Preserving the unity of India is a very important thing, right? It's not just we got independence easily. We had to fight, we had to, lose our people, and then we got independence. Even after independence, Travancore, Hyderabad, Jodhpur, Bhopal, Junagadh were not ready to join. It took a lot of effort of that time freedom fighters to go and talk to these, Why it is important? Because it took a lot of time for an effort from our freedom fighters of that time to go and convince these people to join the Indian Union. So India opted to be a union, not like US and many other countries which has a federal government. India opted for a union, that there will be a union of India and all states are a part of Indian Union. The essential difference is very simple. The central government has more authority and the power in a union government than in a federal government. In a federal government, states have more power. In a union government, union has more power. Now what is the problem? Let's look at it. Direct taxes, which is a very important source of income to the state, which includes income tax and corporate tax. In US, both the state and the central government, both the state and the federal government collect taxes. Whereas in India, the direct taxes go entirely to the central government. So a very important source of revenue for the government, which can be used for development purposes, is collected only by the center and not by the states. So now what happens? The state become dependent on center for this. The central government is supposed to distribute 41% of the taxes to the state government. But a lot of time, the central government is not up to the mark to give 40%, which is resulting in the states not having money. And the state doesn't have money, the states are not able to spend on, social sector services or to develop the state. They are dependent upon the center to receive the money, which is creating more troubles to the state. They are not financially independent. Moreover, the center has started collecting money in the name of cess. 3.5 lakh crore has been collected in the name of cess. The problem is that when you collect money in the name of cess, the cess is not needed to be distributed today to the states. That's another problem. What else? Do the state do not have any power? No, they do have power. They can collect the money in the form of taxes on liquor, property, road and vehicle. But this is very less. 26% of the total revenue comes from central government. In the case of poorer states like Bihar, UP, 50% of their money comes from central government. Now there is also a disparity. There is also a regional disparity. Maharashtra, Delhi, Karnataka contribute to the maximum share of the taxes. These three regions, along with Tamil Nadu and Gujarat, contribute 72%. Whereas UP, which has the largest population, contribute only 3%. That means you are taking money from the bigger state or the people or the states who make more money and giving to the poorer states. They contribute 17%. They take 17% and contribute only 3%. For every 100 rupees that is contributed, southern states get about 51 from the central government, whereas Bihar gets 200%. We get 51%, that is we get 50 rupees and they get 200 rupees. There is another problem with the population growth. The population growth is achieving nearly zero in South India, whereas in UP and Bihar it is increasing. That's why the South Indian states are not happy about it. They are like, we are the one who are generating the revenue. We are the one who are developing our state, making money out of it, giving it to the center, and we are not even receiving our funds. We do require money. What could be the solution? The solution could be to provide greater economic power to the states. Give them more power to collect taxes so that they become less dependent on the center. By economic growth have collapsed, pandemic has hit us, crores of jobs have been lost. The only better option is to make them more independent in financial matter, or else politicians will use this method to make the divide in India. What happened in Yugoslavia, Sri Lanka, East and West Pakistan may also happen in India. We need to preserve this unity. We need to move towards more federal structure. It is good for the people and the country. And the center can focus on external affairs and defense and leave the internal matters to the states. Moving to the next topic. Again, the same article we spoke about today, that the Supreme Court and the center fight about giving ex gratia compensation to the COVID-19 victim. The center says we are using the fund for the better purposes. The Supreme Court says there is an act in the section of the Disaster Management Act that you are supposed to give at least 4 lakh rupees of compensation. Now the Supreme Court and this issue has also led to the question that if you don't have money to give compensation to the people, then why are you spending on Central Vista project? Then you said that you will spend on the health, but you have not been spending on the health. The contribution to the public health is just around 2.5 to 3% of the GDP. That's another problem. Second problem, as a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat, the government said that we are contributing 13% of the GDP towards the economic package because of the pandemic or for recovering from the pandemic. But an IMF analysis have showed that that is somewhere around 1.2% of the GDP. So now there is a question. The question is very simple, that the center should not hesitate to revive the tax back rate, right? Collect more money and give compensation to the hard-hit economy. Because if you give compensation to the victims, they have lost their breadwinners, they will be able to come back in the whole system. Another small topic, this is about US withdrawing from Afghanistan. What is the issue? Very simple. US troops withdrawal has been, is very clear that they have to withdraw from Afghanistan. That's the signal from both the sides. That's also the signal from US government. But it doesn't look so. The intention looks a little bit different. Why? There has been a constant talks going on with Afghanistan since February 19, 2020, when the US and the Taliban signed the Doha Agreement for bringing peace to Afghanistan. The violence have not stopped in Afghanistan. A lot of reports have assessed that Al-Qaeda was behind the violence that happened in Afghanistan, even after signing of the agreement. The bigger question is, what will be the India's stand or New Delhi's long-cited soft power investment? Obviously, we do not want to interfere between the national issue or the local issue of Afghanistan with its Taliban, but Afghanistan is an important partner to India. Why? To counter Pakistan, we do require the support of Afghanistan. So what India has been maintaining is a very soft power investment. We are investing in education, training, infrastructure, and civil society development. We are not trying to become a part of this negotiation because we feel that becoming a part of this negotiation might hurt our relationship with Afghanistan in the future. Why? Since the US withdrawal of the Afghanistan, there are chances that the Taliban government will claim half of the territory. So in tomorrow, we will not be able to negotiate with them. And that's why we also want to remain and look at how the situation will turn around, whether it will turn around in the favor of Taliban or the present Afghanistan government. That's the topic all about. Thank you for the day. Sorry for little errors in the between. This was because of the great internet connection and the electricity problem, but don't worry, we'll try to maintain the quality of the teaching with you. Let us know, and we will come back to you with much better lecture tomorrow. Goodbye.